this will work since I'm in the car. And I know, I'm gonna keep my eyes on the road. Don't start. But I wanted to get on here and do my thing. So I'm going to be talking about nothing in particular. So I ain't even gonna say that. But let's just say that went golfing, soccer golf, okay? I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but it's called soccer golfing. So it's just like the game of golf or sport. Sorry, the sport of golf. And but instead of with a golf ball, use a soccer ball. And so still 9 holes and so forth. So it's the same thing, essentially. But as I went soccer golfing with a couple of my colleagues, man, it was a great experience. I really enjoyed it. I like to do that. But I was struggling a little bit, okay? Let's just say that. So a couple of my colleagues was like, it's the shoes you have on. And I'm like, now mind you, I'm like an athlete, okay, by nature. And I ran track. I'm very coordinated. I know how to dance. I played girls football. And I'm really good with my hands, okay? So I'm like, no. I know how to kick. I used to play kickball all the time, and it was like one of my things to do. However, this game of soccer golf had me like, what in the world is going on here? Okay, like I won a couple of them. A couple of holes, you know what I'm saying? I got them in, like that part was fine, no big deal. Here is the deal though. So I'm tripping because, listen y'all, no matter how I adjusted my body, no matter how I adjusted my head, you know, run, kick, hold your head down, like no matter how I did all of that, I went to the left. I even did the bowling technique, right? so I was like, well, let me scoot just a little bit over to the left. Well, let me scoot just a little bit over to the right, you know, just so I can kind of kick the ball, you know, in the hole. Nothing worked. But here is something that I've tried to, no, let me take that back. I'm not trying. Here's something that I've adopted to do in the midst of whatever. I adopt the thinking of what can I learn out of this situation, right? So, as I'm kicking and I'm adjusting, at one point I was like kicking the ball. If the hole was straight or on the west, I was like kicking all the way to the east. Like it was crazy. It was like really crazy. And I was like, this is ridiculous. So at one point, y'all, seriously, I kicked the ball and hit a tree. Yeah, like a tree. Okay. So not only did I kick I kicked the ball and hit a tree. So now I'm walking all the way over to where the ball is in the tree. And it's like, it was like on the other side of like this fence, so to speak. It wasn't a full fence though. It was just like the little rails. How ironic would it be that once I kick it, trying to get it away from the tree, I kicked the soccer ball and it hit the rail. Okay? I'm going somewhere with this, just follow me. So I'm like, okay, now this is ridiculous. Now this open field here, I'm on a golf course, and as soon as I kick it, like I actually hit the rail. Like, come on now, Martha, you got to do better than this. So I done hit the rail, and now this is coming back over. Okay, so now I'm even a little further where I'm like over by the railroad tracks at this point. So I kick it again and hit the tree again. So here's the point that I'm making. So in the middle of this, and I'm having this conversation with my husband, so I'm like in the middle of this, have you ever been in a situation where you and several other people, let's just say anybody for that matter, anybody, name somebody, everybody start, okay, at the beginning of the start zone? We all start at the same time. We all had the same opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And we all was trying to make the end goal to be the same. But here's what I heard in the spirit. That we all took different journeys to get there. And in my journey of making sure that this ball went into the hole, I had to face some obstacles, okay? I mean, and it was like, I was starting to be like, Martha, you tripping out here. And it just had me thinking like, that's how it is in life. There's gonna be ups and downs and trials and tribulations and roads that make you be like, how did I end up here? How did I get here? I'm so far from where I ended. I'm so far from where I'm trying to go. How do I pull myself back? Whether that be anything, y'all, just name something. I mean, like I was using, the golf as an example. But if you just really follow me and understand exactly what I'm saying, we all have been through this. We all still go through this. Our journey takes us in places where we don't expect to end up, but we end up there. But the blessing is that I never gave up. You never gave up. You picked up, you moved, you gathered your thoughts, you adjusted some things. You looked at it with a different perspective. You stood there. You kind of observed. You maneuvered in a way to where you was like, okay, I'm not going to do that. Like I said, I moved. I'm adjusting this whole thing, right? But I didn't give up. I kept kicking, whether it was way back there and everybody else was up front, whether it was way over there and everybody else was over there, whether it was, like whatever, like no matter. I never gave up and I kept kicking until the ball finally went into the hole. Here's what I'm encouraging you to do. I'm encouraging you on today that no matter what it looks like, no matter where you kick your ball, no matter where it ends up, no matter what you face, keep going. The end goal is there waiting on you. Okay? The end goal ain't going nowhere. Think about even in track, y'all. The finish line don't move. It's just waiting for you to come across it. Okay? And so that's what I want you guys to just focus on and don't give up on, is do whatever it is that you got to do. Take life as a sport and just pick up where you left off. Keep going, keep pushing yourself, and don't give up until you hit that finish line. And don't let the death be finish line. Don't let the finish line be death. Okay? It don't have to be death all the time. Do we get frustrated? Of course we do. Do we get irritated, and do we have anxiety? And sometimes we may face a season of depression. We come to all of that. Okay? At some point in our life, we do. But what I'm saying is, don't give up until you make it across that finish line. So that's what I'm encouraging you to do. Do not give up until you cross that finish line. If you don't see that ribbon, or if you don't see that line and it don't say finish, you keep going. I wouldn't care who in front of you. I wouldn't care who beside you. Don't even look back to see who's behind you. You keep your eye on the prize, and you don't give up until that finish line has been completed. All right. So that right there was my little word, my little tidbit for the day. I'm going to go on and let y'all have it. I love y'all. Until next time, your girl going to holler back. See you next week. Bye.